Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers FFPL podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on for the season. However, we'll also be talking about much more. So kick back, stay tuned, and enjoy. Hello, and a very warm welcome to you, our listeners, today, and thanks for joining us this week on the show. Today, Eamon and Captain Fantastical Mick are both with me here in the studio. Hector's running a little late, lads. Gentlemen, how are you both keeping?
Very well, thank you, and I certainly hope all our listeners are in good form, and looking forward to today's show. I think we are going to be reviewing Gameweek 13 and Gameweek 14, if I'm not mistaken, and we had a few strange results in Gameweek 13, especially with Nottingham Forest beating Liverpool 1-0, not what we expected to see. After Liverpool beating Man City 1-0 in Gameweek 11. Liverpool, a little bit all over the place, in my view here. And, of course, Gameweek 13 as well, we had Newcastle beating Spurs 2-1. An excellent result for Newcastle. They're doing well, not too far off the top there, and catching up with some of those other guys there. And it's a confidence builder for them. Leicester, of course, in Gameweek 13 also notched up a win, convincing 4-0 against Wolves. You like to think that with results like that, you'd build on them there. Plenty of activity going on.
And Mick, you'd agree with that? How are things with you?
I'm keeping well, thanks very much. I hope all good with you and all the listeners. And I agree with Eamon. There's been some unusual and unexpected results this season. You look at Leeds, looked like they were going to be in trouble. They had a loss, and then they had a win there in the last match. So they have a bit of building to do there, and they need to try and survive. It's looking very good. Aston Villa, how are they doing with life after Steven Gerrard? They had a 4-0 win over Brentford in Gameweek 13. And Brentford don't roll over that easy.
Manchester City goes back to winning ways there. Haaland now recently out with this slight injury. Concern for a lot of managers.
Certainly, yes. And I think a lot of managers be watching out for him there.
Okay, well, still no sign of Hector now. He did say he's running late, so we'll see what happens to him when he pops up. Now, Eamon, any sign of any tackling going on?
Well, I was going to say this is probably tackling post-Halloween, but one thing I was probably going to mention, and I think it's nice to say sometimes that Halloween is nice, it's a festive time, but I think people should, and you will still have them maybe towards the latter end of this week, but hopefully it will stop. It is the fireworks that you should consider others. And also consider, the animals, dogs and the wildlife when setting off those fireworks. And you get some people setting them off constantly. It's like every evening, it's day in, day out. And animals, as well as some people, can get quite agitated. So perhaps maybe going forward, some of these people who are lighting fireworks, just think for a moment. Take in your surroundings. Have a thought for your neighbours. As well, there's also the health and safety aspect. If the firework doesn't go off, you don't go over to it and pick it up and find it, may explode in your hand, causing some terrible injuries. But other than that, I hope everybody had a happy Halloween.
Thanks for that, Eamon. Wise words. Probably a bit late now, actually, because Halloween's over, but you did say more like a post-observation. Mick, do you know any good ghost stories, by any chance?
Well, I might know one or two, but I think we need to have the fire lit. They sit around it with the lights down low. Go talk about the tales of the fairy folk and the puka.
I actually do know of a story myself of a shop with crashing sounds.
All right, okay. That sounds interesting. Well, look, will we forget about the football and concentrate on the stories?
No, I don't think so. No, I think as you're saying, Halloween has gone. Maybe next year we'll have something for the Halloween special or something like that.
We'd also need Hector here. I mean, yes, Hector might have a story or two from his native country, but I think it's best to move on to the football, see how our managers get on there. And Hector is joining us, is he?
Oh, yes, indeed. He's joining us. He's just running late, but we'd expect him here anytime soon. Very well. Will we take a look to see how Game Week 13 went? The highest points were 130. And the average points were 51. Eamon, do you want to start us off here?
Well, in first place was Raglan Road, who got 55 points. They had no transfers. Haaland was their captain. And we have to remember, in Game Week 13, Haaland was playing. Haaland got 26 points. Jesus got 2 points. Billing got 2 points. Zaha got 1 point. Bernardo got 9 points. Salah had 2 points. Gabriel had 2 points. Cancelo had 2 points. Trippier had 2 points. Tarkowski had 5 points. And their goalkeeper, Guetta, had 2 points. it wasn't a great result. They have done better. They can do better. I think 7 players getting 2 points apiece didn't help the manager's cause. However, they're holding first place, but only just. And I think there'll be some important decisions for this manager to make. Second place, there's no change. Tayega, who got 62 points. They had 1 transfer. Martinelli came in and got them 2 points. Harrison went out. He got 5 points. Day 2 had Haaland as the captain for 26 points. Jesus was there with 2 points. Mitrovic was there with 6 points. Salah had 2 points. Zaha had 1 point. Martinelli, as I said, had 2 points. Andres was there with 10 points. Good result. Trippier had 2 points. Gomez 1 point. Diaz had 2 points. And our goalkeeper Ward had 8 points. Now, without a doubt, this transfer flopped. Put a man out who's getting 5 points and get a man in who's getting 2. The maths don't add up there, baby. However, he still managed to put in, a good round of points, and they've leveled up there, and they're moving with Raglan. We asked, could they strike back? And they have. Third place is a non-mover also. The good, the bad, and the goalie. 67 points. No transfers this time. Captain Haaland had 26 points. Mitrovic picked up 6. Kane 8. Martinelli 2. Foden had 1 point. Andres there with the 10 points. Alexander-Arnold had 1 point. Dyer also had 1 point. Cancelo had the 2 points. Trippier with 2. And the goalkeeper was Ward, who got 8 points. The forwards definitely firing on all cylinders. Good to see that. Goalkeeper doing well. But if this manager is eyeing up second or first place, we're going to have to sort out a few of these players. There's a few of them there that are just not cutting the mustard these days. Do you want me to go on? Indeed, Eamon. You carry on there. You're doing a great job. Fourth place is a non-mover also. Lafayette Lions. 62 points, 1 transfer. Mitrovic came in for 6 points and Welbeck went out for 2. Haaland was the captain at 26 points. Mitrovic had 6. Kane 8. Grush had 1. De Bruyne had 9. Martinelli had 2 points. Delot had 2 points. Salah had 2 points. Trippier had 2 points. Cancelo 2 points. And even the goalkeeper, Pope, 2 points. Again, the forward line is performing well. But as we've already touched on earlier, too many of those players picking up 2 points. It's not what you want. You're never going to move with those sort of players getting those type of scores. This manager needs to reflect on this and think about this stuff. Who can give them an edge? Fifth place is Camby High Cancelo with 57 points, and they had 2 transfers. They lost 4 points. Saka was brought in for 1 point and Trossard was put out for 7 points. Foden came in for 1 point. Grosh went out for 1. Captain was Haaland with 26 points. Mitrovic was there with 6 points. Kane had 8. Foden 1. Martinelli 2 points. Saka 1 point. Zaha 1 point. Trippier 2 points. Kilman didn't get any points. Cancelo was there with 2 points. They had the goalkeeper, Ward, 8 points. The transfer didn't work out for this manager. Solid forward line and the goalkeeper came through. The rest of the team just decided to not turn up. There's not much you can say about it. It's one of those weeks they'll just want to put it behind them. Would you like me to carry on there, host? Indeed, Joe. Go down to 7th there. Mick can take over. In 6th place, the non-mover is Arkham Avengers, 52 points. 1 transfer. Foden was brought in for 1 point and Anthony went out for 1 point. They stuck with Haaland as the captain, 26 points. Tony got 2 points. Jesus got 2 points. Salah had 2 points. Andreas had 10 points. McAllister was there with 2 points. Foden had the 1 point. Trippier 2. Dyer had 1 point. Cancelo had the 2 points and their goalkeeper, Rea, picked up 2 points. The transfer, in my view, hasn't amounted to much. Even Stevens there. Haaland and Andres saving the spoofer from complete collapse here. Doubt he'll be in 6th place for much longer though with this sort of style of managing. And up to 7th from 10th place. Best season ever. 67 points. 1 transfer. Zaha came in with 1 point. Luis Diaz was put out. He's injured. Haaland was the captain for 26 points. Mitrovic was there with 6. Jesus had the 2 points. Bernardo picked up 9 points. Foden had the 1. Zaha had 1. Alexander-Arnold had 1 point. Kerr had 6 points. Salah had 2 points. Trippier had 2 points. And their goalkeeper, Henderson, picked up 11 points. I don't make much of the transfer. You got a point. Yippee. But a point is a point at the end of the day. Picking up a nice few points around the pitch there. Looks like a manager ready to pounce, ready to move, on the way up. 6th place is next, at least. Eamon, thanks very much for that. Now, there's a lot in that there, isn't there? certainly is a lot there. There's a lot of rubbish going on with some of those there. But that's the sort of season that we have. Players playing well 1 week. Stick with him. And then he doesn't do nothing. It's just the nature of the game at the moment. After the World Cup, I'd like to see things maybe stabilise a little bit there. Very good. Mick, would you like to take over from 8th and carry on downward? If Hector comes in, we'll get him to talk there. But sure, look, he's not here at the moment, so you might as well carry on.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I'll look after this. A non-mover in 8th place. What a beauty, 99, 57 points. They had no transfer. Haaland was their captain, 26 points. Jesus got 2 points. Tony got 2 points. McAllister got 2 points. Martinelli got 2 points. De Bruyne got 9 points. Trossard got 7 points. Saliba had 2 points. Cancelo got 2 points. Martinez got 1 point. And the goalkeeper, Pope, got 2 points. I think this manager at this stage in the season could do with making a transfer or two. Freshen this team up a little bit there. They're not showing much of a battle. Yeah, they're holding 8th place, but that won't last for very long. They need to be showing a little bit of engagement. Is what I'd say on this one. Down to 9th place then. Previously was in 7th. Maximum effort, 52 points. No transfer. They had Haaland as their captain and got 26 points. Udoard was there with 2 points. Jesus had 2 points. Anthony had 1 point. De Bruyne had the 9 points. Bruno Guimaraes got 2 points. Van Dijk got 2 points. Botman got 2 points. Cancelo had the 2 points. Thiago Silva, 2 points. The goalkeeper Ramsdale is 2 points. I should have just said all these lads got 2 points. And never mind repeating 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. I wasn't thinking there. This was said last week that there would be ramifications for how they selected their team. But this is the start of it. Going down now, 8 players with 2 points if I'm correct. Poor return. I think, Eamon, would you agree with me on this? I think they've lost the momentum this season.
Yes, I think you're right. There is a lot of players on 2 points. Not what you need. Whatever about having a couple of them, but if you've got 8 players, that's a bit of a wish-wash team that you've got there. I think like that Thiago Silva, I don't think he's really doing too much there. Botman is hit and miss. Van Dijk's not on form this season. There's 3 players that could take out already and replace them with something. It's a player who's actually trying to do something and work with you. Yes, I think you're right, Mick. That momentum is lost.
Up to 10th place then. Last position was 11th. Blacksome scored 83 points. 1 transfer. They brought Foden in and they put 4-0s out. Both of them got 1 point. They stuck with Haaland as the captain for 26 points. Jesus got 2 points. Kane had 8 points. Foden had 1 point. Xhaka was there with 10 points. Maddison had 8 points. Andreas had 10 points. Cancelo then had 2 points. Castagne had 12 points, if I'm correct. Thiago Silva had 2 points, and their goalkeeper Pope had 2 points. Look, the transfer is not making much of a difference, 1 point to 1 point. But I think apart from Foden, the midfield are very good, and they've cracked into the top 10. It's taken a little while, taken a number of weeks. We're 13 weeks here, but they've managed to get themselves into 10th place. Now, question is, can they build on that, stay there? Down to 11th place then, and they were in 10th place previously, is Cliched, 56 points, no transfer. Jesus was their captain and got 4 points. Tony was there with 2 points. Kane was there with 8 points. Harrison had 5 points. Salah had 2 points. Rodrigo had 7 points. Almiron managed to pick up 10 points there, which was quite good. And Trippier had 2 points. That guy, Neco Williams, got 6 points. Cancelo 2 points. And Ward was the captain and got 8 points there. I don't see any game plan with this guy. It looks a little bit lackluster to me. Like they're going down. They were up at the top. They were in, the top 5 at one point. They've never really built anything on that. They've never really pushed. It's like this is a reflection when you're getting down there. Then an unmover at 12th place is Real No Stars, 58 points, no transfer. Haaland was their captain with 26 points. Jesus picked up 2 points. Greenwood 2 points. Martinelli got 2 points. Aronson got 2 points. De Bruyne got 9 points. Salah was back with 2 points. Alexander-Arnold got 1 point. Neco Williams had them 6 points. And Cucurello got 1 point. Their goalkeeper is Edison. He got 5 points for him there. I don't know. There's really not much to say here about that.
Eamon, you've got something, have you, there to say? I see you're looking and trying to draw attention. I certainly have, yes. They got 58 points. And I can say this, with both hands on the table here. They didn't get those 58 points because of their management style. It's a legacy team that was put together and has been abandoned. There's been no transfers since game week 6. This team has been cut adrift. Their manager is away, wherever. And they're just lucky that they had a couple of these players in here. If Haaland wasn't playing, it'd be a different story. De Bruyne wasn't playing, it'd be a different story there. They're lucky to get that 58 points.
Okay. Back to you there now, Mick.
Thank you. And up to 13th place. Last week's number 14. Better idea, 22-23, 53 points. No transfer. Your captain, Salah, got 4 points. Tony had 2 points. Ings had 12 points. Moore picked up 1 point. Andres was there with a 10 point. Ward-Prowse got 2 points. De Bruyne had 9. Diaz got 2 points. Sanchez managed 1. Salah at 2 points. Their goalkeeper, Fabianski, got 8 points. A little bit like what Eamon was saying about the Real no stars. I think it's more luck than skill here that they got 53 points. I don't think I'd be getting too excited about this, though, to be quite honest with you there. And down then to 14th place. They were in 13th. Silverstroke, 36 points. No transfer. Trippier was their captain and got 4 points. Greenwood at 2. Mitrovic at 6 points, Mount at 2 points, Trossard was there with 7 points, Salah was there with 2 points, and March was there with 5. Sensi was there with 1 point, Byrne had 2 points, Bueno didn't get any points. Their goalkeeper is Edison, and they got 5 points. I think it's a poor result for them this week, considering, that they managed to get off the bottom of the table there. I don't think, though, that they're not really shipping out any of these non-performing players. Greenwood, I don't think I wouldn't be having him in my team. You need to do something about that. So certainly got to do something about it.
All right, that's great. Listen, thank you for that now, Mick. That was good to hear and get a breakdown on the team. And lo and behold, I think we have somebody joining us.
Oh, here he is. Oh, Hector, how are you?
Sorry, I need to get into the mic. Sorry, I'm sorry,
It's okay, Hector. You just take your time. We're in no rush. The listeners are in no rush. You just get settled there.
Sorry, I'm going to just move the chair in there. No, sorry. Oh, hello to everybody. I'm sorry I was so late. The weather was so bad. I got soaked twice today. I had to change clothes twice. I don't see rain like this. Where all this rain coming from? We do get some rain where I'm from, but nothing like this.
Yes, there's certainly been quite a bit of rain and a bit of wind there. The weather is not the best.
Not the best? Seriously, not the best, but never mind. I got here. Yeah, I am very sorry for that there. Mick, how are you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, Hector. I'm not going to ask how you're getting on. You look like you're a little bit flustered.
Yeah, I was blustered. Yeah, very good. Hey, Eamon, nice to see you there.
So it's a pleasure to have you here with us, Hector. I did wonder if you were joining us, and I was told you would. I had hoped that you might have been delayed, but you got to turn up.
Sorry, am I hear that there?
I just said it's nice that you've managed to join us.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, host, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing very well now, Hector. Take a moment there to get yourself settled there. What we're doing here is just having a look at Game Week 13 and Game Week 14, Hector. And so we've done 13. Will we give you a couple of moments there, Hector, just to get yourself settled into your seat? Eamon, you want to take the lead on Game Week 14? Yes, I certainly will. Yes, I can do this. In Game Week 14, the highest points were 134, while the average was 59 points. In first place is Raglan Road. No change from last week. 75 points. They had 1 transfer. White was brought in for 6 points, and Veltman was put out. He didn't get any points. This week, of course, Haaland didn't play, and a lot of managers had him as captain. Raglan selected Haaland as the captain, who didn't play and didn't get any points. The vice captain, though, was Salah, and he got 14 points. Jesus was there with 9 points. Trossard had 7. Zaha 2. Bernardo 3. Billing 2. Trippier 11. Cancelo 6 points. White, of course, picked up the 6 points as well. Tarkowski picked up 6 points. And their goalkeeper, Guetta, got 9 points. The defence and the goalkeeper are excellent in my view here. The vice-captain choice, safe with Salah. He might not be hitting, the form that he had in previous seasons, but you can still rely on him. I would be, though, a little bit concerned about the midfield there. They're 3 points currently ahead of second place. There's not much in this now. They're going to have to, as we said before, they're going to have to do something slightly different to give them an edge there, if it's possible. Second place is also a non-mover. Taiega, 72 points. They had a transfer, and they also brought White in and put Gomez out for 1 point. Their captain was Salah, 14 points. Mitrovic was there with 1 point. Jesus had 9 points. Andres had 3 points. Martinelli had 8 points. Delot 9. White 6 points. Perisic had 4 points. Trippier 11. Diaz had 1 point. Their goalkeeper, Pope, picked him up, 6 points. Yeah, good captain choice again, going with Salah. Picking up a few points from the defence. And in the midfield area as well. And they're keeping the pressure on Raglan Road. Third place is a non-mover, the good, the bad, and the goalie. 62 points, and they played a wild card this week. They went for Haaland as the captain, and they didn't get any points since he didn't play. Their vice-captain, though, was Kane, and he got them 2 points. Mitrovic had 1 point. Almiron had 12 points. Martinelli had 8. De Bruyne 11. Foden had 1 point. Dyer had 1 point. Trippier had 11 points. Delot had 9 points. White had 6 points. And their goalkeeper, Arza Balaga. Who? Yes, I know. I don't know how to get this guy out of. Arza Balaga is what I would think he pronounces his name there. He didn't get any points. Certainly the transfer of this goalkeeper didn't work. I mean, not only is it a bit of a mouthful to say, but he didn't do anything. He didn't get any points. But the manager here, he brought in players, I think, to get the points. Although 62 points for playing your wild card probably is not the best result that you're looking for. I wonder did he transfer this goalkeeper in here to kind of stump you when how you're doing the pronunciation? Hell, I tell you, it's got to be a costly move if he's done that.
You could always go on, what is it they're going to? You can go on to Google. Yeah, Google, and it'll tell you how to play it.
How to play it?
Yeah, you tap in the name and you say, or you press the button. They'll say it back to you, so they will.
Yeah, I've seen this at times. I have used it sometimes because it'd be places here in Ireland I wouldn't know how you upset it. I didn't realise that there. So I can stick this Arza Balaga in, and they'll tell me whether I'm pronouncing it wrong or not. Sounds like a lot of laga to me. Moving on anyway, Eamon. Who's in fourth? Fourth place is a non-mover, Lafayette Lions, with 61 points. They had 1 transfer. Andres was brought in for 3 points. Grosh was put out. They got 7 points. They also had Haaland as the captain. Didn't play. No points. They too had Kane as the vice-captain for 2 points. Mitrovic had 1. Andres, as I said, had 3 points. Ashworth picked up 5 points. De Bruyne had 11. Martinelli 8. Cancelo had 6. Trippier had 11 points. Saliba had 7. Nico Williams picked up 1 point. Their goalkeeper is also Pope, and they got 6 points. Certainly the transfer didn't work out for them, and a very poor vice-captain choice, I think. Look, they're clipping away. They got 61 points. They'll be happy with that, but I'd say they'd be looking forward to a better game week in 15. Look, they're thereabouts. They're not making an impact. They're certainly not challenging at the moment. They're pacing, if I could use that word, pacing. Would you like me to go on? I think we can go on there. I don't think Hector is quite ready. No, sorry, I do. My socks got wet. I do just take on it. I said, that's what you were doing. I didn't know what he was doing.
I wasn't quite sure what he was doing either. He was doing a lot of rooting around down there sideways.
Okay, can we get back onto the football while Hector dries his socks? Fifth place is a non-mover also. Cambai Cancelo, 53 points, 1 transfer. White came in for 6 points. Estupian was put out for 7 points. They had Saka as their captain and they got 8 points. And Saka managed to play 26 minutes altogether. And their vice-captain, Kane, was at 1 point tally for them. Mitrovic joined with 1 point. Foden had 1 point. Zaha had 2 points. Martinelli had 8 points. Andreas had 3 points. Trippier did pick up 11. Cancelo had 6. White, as we said, had 6 points also. Their goalkeeper is also Pope, and they got 6 points. They certainly won't be happy to have dropped points. The transfer for me is so. I think it's the case of back to the drawing board for this manager. They were showing some great form to get where they were going, and they haven't got that final injection of energy to get them into the top 3. I'll finish off in 6th place, non-mover, Arkham Avengers, 62 points, 2 transfers, cost them 4 points. Almiron came in for 12 points. De Silva went out for 2. Bailey came in for 2 points. McAllister went out for 2 points. They also had Haaland as the captain who wasn't playing. Their vice captain, though, was Salah, got them 14 points. Tony picked up 1 point. Jesus had 9 points. Foden had 1 point. Andres had 3 points. Almiron had 12 points, Nico Williams had 1 point. Dyer had 1 point. Cancelo had 6 points. Trippier had 11. And their goalkeepers, Raya, they got 3 points there. The Bailey McAllister transfer didn't really do anything. It lost them points there. Their vice captain, though, good selection to go with. Salah, safe, but tried and trusted. The spoofer made one good choice there. I suppose, bringing Almiron in did bring some dividend whatsoever there. For me, though, the like of Dyer and Foden are just not doing it there. I mean, if you take a look at Foden's last 3 matches, in one match he played 90 minutes. The second match he played 28 minutes. And his last match, I believe he played 13 minutes. And he's got out of all of that there, he's got a whopping 4 points. And his other companion here is Dyer. In his last 3 matches, he's played 81 minutes. He played one match of 90 minutes, and he played another match of 33. And he's hauled in 3 points. I have to question that. What are you doing with these guys? Yes, Foden was hitting great figures there previously, but he's not getting on. And this is the Pep effect. And the Pep effect is having an effect. Time to change. Time to look at these things, lads. But this is a spoofer. Probably play a wild card or free hit or God knows, triple captain or something next week.
Okay, man. Thank you. Hector, would you like to join us in 7th place?
Thank you. Yeah. So in 7th place, non-mover, a best season ever, 69 points. He had 1 transfer. Almiron came in for the 12 points. Odegaard was put out about 10 points. They had the captain, Haaland, who had no play. Their vice-captain, Jesus, did play, and they got the 18 points for him. Mitrovic got the 1 point. Trossard had 7 points. Zaha had 2 points. Foden had 1 point. Almiron had the 12 points. Bernardo had the 3 points. Trippier had 11. Alexander-Arnold had the 2 points. Saliba had 7. And the goalkeeper, Sanchez, got 5 points. The transfer worked out. A good transfer. The vice-captain, Jesus, is a good choice. I think it's no good week for this, and they're really starting now to push to put in the form. The question is, can they keep all of this to go? Can they counter and now start to gallop after the lads who were ahead of them there? After a slow, sluggish start, the manager is now starting to come into his own and looking good. Bueno. Then in 8th place, you have no change. Wahabuhi 99, 71 points. No transfer. They had captain as the Haaland, no play. Jesus got 9 points. Tony had the 1 point. Their vice captain was the guy Trossard, who got the 14 points. McAllister had 2 points. Martinelli had 8. De Bruyne had 11. Saliba had 7. Cancelo 6. Martinez had the 7 points. And their goalkeeper, Pope, got the 6 points. But, after disaster in Gameweek 12, they're picking in some nice points. Looking good. They're still not making no transfer. Why is that? Why can we not get through to them to make the transfer? I'm not sure, Hector. I'm not sure. In 9th place, non-mover, is the maximum effort. 58 points. No transfers. Their captain was Jesus, 18 points. Haaland had no point. Woodward had 6 points. St. Maximin had the 1 point. De Bruyne had 11 points. Bueno Gomez had the 3 points. Cancelo had the 6 points. Thiago Silva, no point this week. Botman, 6 points. Van Dijk had the 1 point. And their goalkeeper, Ramsdale, 6 points. To me, the manager, they're off form. They're not on the pace. They're not looking like they are even in the race. Don't even look like they are on the track here. They're not on that there. And I think, they get lucky. If I can just say that, yes, they certainly are off form. And you are right, Hector. They did get lucky getting that set of points there because it's certainly not down to their managerial skill. This is, I've said it before, this is minimum effort. Actually, it's probably going to be no effort here. Sorry about that.
You're okay.
And Hector, finish us up there for 10th place.
Who's in 10th this week?
In 10th place, and they've gone up from last week 11, Klishpet, 56 points. No transfers. Their captain was Jesus, and they had Tony with the 1 point.
Kane was vice captain. He got the 1 point. St. Maximin, 1 point. Rodrigo, 6 points. Salah had 7 points. Harrison had 2 points. Trippier had 11. Nico Williams, he had the 1 point. Cancelo had the 6 points. And their goalkeeper is Mendy. He had 2 points. It's surprising to see they have gone up. I don't think they do nothing to get up there. What do you think? Eamon, I think, you agree with me.
I tell you something, I won't be pulling the cork on the champagne bottle just yet. No more than the other Scalachico, Maximin effort. It was more luck in getting 56 points. And luck favoured them this week because there's nothing to write home about on this. They just had a couple of players who they selected weeks ago, just left them in cruise control and picked up a few points there. Mick, you anything to add?
Well, I'm kind of a little bit surprised that they did go up. I'll be even more surprised when we find out who went down.
Well, we're going to find out now, aren't we? Take it away there, Mick.
Well, down to 11th place then from last week's 10th is none other than Blacksome Squad. They got 40 points. They had no transfer. Haaland was the captain. He didn't play, so no points. They opted for Kane instead of vice captain. They got 2 points for that. Jesus was there with 9 points. Xhaka got 3 points. Andres got 3 points. Foden got 1 point. Madison got 2 points. Thiago Silva didn't get any points. Castagne got 2 points. Mikalenko didn't get any points. Cancelo did get 6 points. And our goalkeeper, Pope, got 6 points. It's a pretty poor week. And a lot of players just not being consistent. Kane, big letdown there. I think the manager will be disappointed that they dropped down out of the top 10 after working so hard to get back up there. But I expect a return to form for Gameweek 15. We've not seen the end of this manager here. They don't throw in the towel that easy. Then in 12th place is no move. Real, no stars. 59 points. No transfers. Haaland was the captain, no points. Jesus was vice captain, 18 points. Salah got 7. De Bruyne got 11 points. Aronson got 2 points. Doucouré didn't get any points. Martinelli got 8 points. Cucurella got 1 point. Nico Williams got 1 point. Alexander-Arnold got 2 points. And Edison got 9 points. It's another non-event week, I think, for this manager. Just, handily got 59 points.
Yeah, they did get 59 points. And look, they selected the players at some period in time, and they're still getting points. So they done something right somewhere like that. I don't agree with that. Why not? Why not? Why do you not agree with that, Eamon?
I don't agree with that. In fact, I think managers like these should be removed.
They should be removed. What do you mean they should be removed?
They should be removed. They give a manager who is struggling, trying to make a change, trying to get their team. This guy, or whoever it is, it's 59 points. They're doing nothing with their team. And the manager who is trying to do something, let's take Blightsome for example. Blightsome, week in, week out, will be making changes or trying to do something there. They should be sitting there, asking themselves, why is Wales no stars, Kalish Spade getting more points than me? The question is, they don't want that. I think they should be just removed. If they're not active in it, they should be removed out of the league and just told to take, there's the road, off you go.
No, Eamon, I think it's a bit harsh. They did select the players. I'll agree there, but they're not doing anything with the players.
As I said, it's like you put a team there and just leave them on cruise control and forget about them. Why bother? Like, you have to have some sort of gumption and some sort of responsibility to manage. This is, something, I'm going to say this, we're in the part of the league table here. When I usually get to 8th or 9th, I start to lose interest here with these. We're in the part of the table. This is the zero transfer click. Now, I know, Blightsome Squad are there. They didn't make a transfer this week, but they will make transfers. They do make transfers. They're probably saving a transfer for Gameweek 15. They do something. But you've got some of these punters here. The Water Beauty 99s, the Maximum Efforts, the Kirish Bates, the Real No Stars, the Better Ideas. Those punters, they've been in here before and they're not making the transfers. They're not showing any active impulse. Silver Stroke is newish, so every new manager has to learn the ropes here. But they do make some changes and will do something. But these are seasoned managers who nod off. I certainly wouldn't like them to be driving any car for me because they would have a tendency to nod off. We'd be in the we'd be in the ditch with this lot of it would. But yeah, I think they're taking away from the manager who is trying to do something. And it's soul destroying when you try and do something and you look across and see these lads are picking up points for doing absolutely sweet. Hold on, Eamon. This is a clean show. Let's not have any colourful language. Yeah, okay, yeah, I take that, yes. But they're not doing anything. Okay, where were we, Mick? We were going to 13th, weren't we?
That's right, we're going to 13th. Eamon's not going like this either. Well, it's probably a little bit better than the other odds. Worse, whatever way you want to look at it. No move in 13th place. Better idea, 22-23. 47 points. No transfer, Eamon.
I wouldn't be surprised. If they had a transfer, I think I'd fall off the chair.
They had Salah as the captain, got 14 points. Ings was down with 2 points. Tony had 1 point. Ward-Prowse had 2 points. Hojbjerg picked up 5 points. De Bruyne got 11. Andres got 3. Diaz got 1 point. Sanchez had no point. Saliba did give him 7 points. And their goalkeeper, Fabianski, got 1 point. I don't think it'll be long until this manager's down to 14th place. A bit like what Eamon's saying. They're not engaging. And that's it too. I don't know. They've gone off. Maybe they're getting ready for the World Cup or something. I don't know.
I hope they don't come back if they've gone off to the World Cup. They keep going off to it. And then, of course, in 14th place, Silver Stroke with 56 points.
That's right. They had no transfer this week. Trippier as their captain. They got 22 points. Mitrovic picked up 1 point. Saka picked up 4. Mount picked up 2 points. Trossard picked up 7. Salah had 7 points. Mash got 2 points. Sensi had 1 point. Byrne had 6 points. Bueno had 2 points. And their goalkeeper Mendy managed to pick them up 2 points. Look, it's a reasonable haul of points for them there. Keeps them close to a better idea. 22-23. I think this is about 6 points in it.
That's right, yeah. 6 points in it. That's indeed.
I'm not sold on Bueno. He's not doing anything substantial. And since he's another one, they're not doing anything for the team. And that guy March, I think he's just about hanging in there. But there'll be 3 players I've identified. I have them out.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for that now, lads. Thank you. Bit of food for thought there now, lads. A bit controversial. It's not that controversial. It's just that you have to do something. You have to appeal to the instincts. Okay. So all we have left is game week 15 and game week 16, and then the World Cup is here. I suppose, lads, would it be a fair comment to say a lot of managers, the World Cup is going to give them an option to take stock and hope as well that some of their players, the ones that are getting the points, come back fit and ready for the next part of the Premier League. Yes, they will be taking stock. You like to. I have a feeling some of these managers won't take stock, but yeah, there'll be some thinking, when my players are gone out there, how will they come back? It'll be quite interesting when the players come back, how effective they are. Tiredness sets in. The heat. A lot of that going on there. Mick, you would be no stranger to heat now. How would that get you?
It'd sap you, so it would. It would sap you. And, you also have to take into consideration the expectation and friction. And, little things can suddenly get blown out of proportion, so they can.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're speaking from experience, are you here?
I am speaking from experience, yes.
Okay. Anything you want to add?
I don't think so. I think everything's been said about that, but yeah, it'll be heat and expectation there.
Hector, you'd be no stranger to the heat now, but what would you say? I think that you will, like what the Mick said, there'll be expectation. The whole world is looking at you. Any mistake you made, magnified. Hopefully it'll be a good tournament. And I look forward to it. Look, it's always good. There's always some upsets. It'll be very interesting. Okay, yes, indeed. Now, of course, Hector, you would have missed it, but Eamon was gently tackling fireworks. He was. Have you anything planned for next week, Eamon, just out of interest? Yeah, well, I certainly have, actually. I was doing a little bit of prep work, but Saturday night kind of threw me out a little bit there. Oh, okay. What happened on Saturday night? Hector, Captain Fantastical, Mick, and we went to the Oscars, the Longford Arms Hotel on Saturday night. The Oscars, did you say? They don't take place until March usually. How are the Oscars on in October? Well, you see, these Oscars were a fundraiser for the Ardagh Moydow GAA club.
All right, okay. I say I was found it was very enjoyable. I had a ball. It was a great night there.
That's right. Yeah, I have to say, good films, you know. There were lots of chatting to, big crowds there.
Okay. Did I miss the invite or something? Hector?
Well, you remember we went to see the Songs of Praise?
I do, yes, yeah.
When we go to that, you know, people remember and they say then, you know, we have this, if you'd like to come along and visit this and buy a ticket. And we thought, yeah, we would do it there.
All right, okay. Well, you kept that quiet now, lads, huh? Have you anything else to say about this Oscars night? We certainly do have a few things to say about it. In fact, Hector has a little recording and we're thinking maybe if we could use it in the next show and maybe have a little chat about some of the movies and some of the stars of the night there. Oh, yeah.
And before, if I can say, you know, I don't take any equipment. I use my phone.
So you're going to give me something and we'll hear about this next week.
That's right. Yeah, we'll have all the details. I'm sure your listeners will probably enjoy this as well. It was very nice. It's very good.
Well, sure, we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Hector.
Yes?
Have you any update for us on the case of the Mystery Recitation Man in Moydow? How's your case and your investigation going?
Well, my investigations were also interrupted because I had to get ready for the Oscars.
However, I did get a message on my phone, and the message gave me some information. All right, okay. What sort of information did you get?
Well, he said to me, you know, that this Miss Flanagan might be able to assist.
Miss Flanagan? Okay. Who is she now? I haven't heard of her before.
Well, all I can find out that she has retired and she seems to cycle a lot.
Cycle? Is this like, you know, is she doing the Tour de France?
I know not. I do not know anything, Eamon. I haven't met this Flanagan, Miss. I have not spoken to her or anything like that.
Can I ask, who sent you this text message?
I don't recognize the number, but, you know, I think I'm getting a feeling that I am getting close to the restrained man.
What? No, hold on a second. I think I'm actually going to have to write this down for you, Hector. Hector, it's recitation. How many times do I have to tell you this? What part of recitation is not sinking in there? Is there some reason there? Hold on, Eamon, never mind that there. Can I ask you, apart from this Miss Flanagan, has there been any other development, as in your attempt to get these police records that you were talking about from the 1970s?
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, that. What about that now? We can come back to the Flanagan woman in a few moments there. Not that Hector seems to have much on her or anything like that there, apart from her cycling around the countryside. But what about the police records? How did you get on with that now? This is what we want to hear.
I rang the police station in the County Fermanagh, and when I spoke to the man on the phone, he referred me to the police ombudsman in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
The lady I spoke to there, she asked me why I look for 1970s records, and after I tell her, she say I am a bit vague, and she say I need to have more detail. I got to get more facts for her, and maybe then they can kind of help.
All right, well, that sort of makes a bit of sense, all right, and that's logical there. Okay, have we got any movement on that?
Well, while I also on the phone, she asked me if a crime had been committed.
If a crime had been committed, okay. What was your response to that?
I said I did not know. I thought the police would have been after this DJ man with the caravan, and but then she said to me, you know, am I doing the prank, whatever that is? And she says then she would terminate a call and say I should send letter to Belfast, and then she hung up on me. I didn't know what the prank was.
Oh, it means acting the Egypt there, sir.
Acting Egypt. But I was on phone. I was not acting.
Yes, well, look, don't even go there. No, we can't go there now. Not at this stage.
I don't think so. Let's not get into that there. I'll talk to you about acting the Aegis after the show, all right?
Okay, yeah, that's all right.
Maybe you should go to Belfast, Hector. Would that be an idea, and you could tell them about it in person?
Now, hold on now, Mick.
I think Hector should forget about the police records idea and maybe concentrating on something else. Like, for example, any photographs from the night in question. I know from Saturday night that Hector was doing quite a bit of talking. He was pressing the flesh and then asking people about their attendance at the event in the community centre. And he spoke to a few people and they actually think that they have some video footage from the night. And he's chasing down that cul-de-sac, that avenue, to see if he can get any further input.
Right, Eamon, yeah. I asked the people at the Oscar night, and some say that they know people who was at the Song of Praise. And I tried to speak to the priest as well. I had spotted him there, but he was on the stage. He was off the stage. He was with cast. He was in one of the films. He was in Waking the Ned, and there was crowds all around him. I couldn't at times get to him. And then he also had the black shirt on. He was kind of dark in there. So I kept losing him there.
Maybe you should write to him as well.
Well, I can tell you for certain here, we're no further on. Another week down, no light being shed on this, apart from some Miss Flanagan, now that you've managed to dig up out of some place, text from people unknown. Did you ring the number?
The number?
Yeah, the number that sent you the text.
I did, and it said this number no longer in use.
Okay, so somebody sent you a message saying about this Miss Flanagan, and then the number's gone. And now isn't that something, lads?
Tell you something, somebody's covering up their tracks here. Somebody doesn't want Hector to be digging.
Well, I like be Columbo. One more question and I will be finding it there.
Well, perhaps so. Maybe this week you might actually have something, a bit of light to shed on this. What about that now?
I tell you, I now give up. I go and find him.
Oh, good man yourself. That's the relief there. Our listeners will be pleased to hear that. We'll have another week of this. Okay. I suppose, Hector, while we're still talking to you, we better get the Hector hellos out of the way. Over to you, Hector.
And thank you very much, host. And listeners, welcome to Hector's Hellos. And on this week's show, I want to say a big hello to our listeners in Sligo, Mayo, Cork, Cavan, Monaghan, over in Dublin, Galway, down in Kerry, listeners in Limerick, Dortmund, Laughlin, Bavaria, to all our listeners in the UK, Iceland, our listeners in sunny Spain, to those of you in Rome who are tuning into us, and in Turkey too. We have our listeners in Missouri, Alaska, New York, Texas, California. Also our listeners in Ontario, Mumbai, Amsterdam, New South Wales, Brazil. Hi Mom, are you all doing well? Argentina, and we have our listeners in Japan. And if Fred is still about, he might contact me about how much wood I might need for barbecue, how much it costs to get over.
We're still on about this wood. I thought this barbecue thing was gone and put to bed weeks ago. Where's this coming out of?
My friends were saying the price of gas and electricity is going up and up and up, and it's very expensive. And I just thinking maybe I get some wood. We can burn some wood. So Fred, if you are out there, can you just send email with maybe a bit of information so I can talk to our friends and stuff like that?
For the love of Frank.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there.
I just wanted to ask.
Yes, thank you, Hector. I think we shall leave it there.
The sooner you pull the plug on Hector's hellos, the better for all of us.
No, Hector's hellos is all right, especially when they don't go on. It's the Hector's howias afterwards. That's what we're going to have to talk about. Hector, you and I are going to have a chat after the show as well. When Mick's finished talking to you, acting to Egypt, you'll understand where I'm coming from when I'm going to talk to you.
It's all right, okay. I have to put my socks on though. I'm drying them on the radiator.
Okay, and with that, I think we'll wrap up. Lads, thank you very much for joining us on this week's episode. And Hector, I know you were late getting in, but thank you. And hopefully you won't get soaked. I hope you have a nice couple of days. Enjoy the football. And I look forward to seeing you all back next week. Thank you. I will be back. And I look forward to being on the show to talk football. And then have to sit through some of the stuff that comes out of Hector.
I think I'll be back. I might be away. And if I'm away, I'll send you a little message or make contact with you and let you know.
Okay, thanks for that now, Mick. And Hector?
I will be here. Hopefully I will not get a cold, a little sniffle, but I will take some, what is that concoction you used to make? Remember, Mick used to say you had to get this stuff into you to try and stop you from getting the COVID.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's, yeah. You need a little bit of Vicks and whiskey and lemon and hot water. I'll give it. I'll write it down for you afterwards. There.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, but I will be here. Yeah, all going well. Touch wood. Touch wood.
Okay, thank you. All right, lads. As always, it's a pleasure. And to you, our listeners, once again, thank you for joining us, taking time out of your day to listen to us, to relax. Thank you for subscribing, for sharing this show with your friends. Don't forget, if anybody wants to get in contact with us, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. See our handles in the show notes. And you can also email us at arkhamavengers@gmail.com. And so I just wish you a good morning, good afternoon, a good evening, a good night, wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves. We'll be back. Slán.